like we just started the year. We're now joined by Baylor Running Backs Coach Khenon Hall with Craig Smoke and David Smoke on 365 Sports. We've had Jake Spavital and others. And Khenon, it was like last week they were talking about you had been on the road and you really hadn't even been in front of the team. The players you have now, are you all now getting a little bit more accustomed to who you actually have in your room?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're getting acquainted. Thank you, David and Craig, for having me on. It's an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to be here. But, yeah, we're getting acquainted with those guys. I think we're building a solid bond. I've met all of them individually, and we've been able to have a few meetings and a few walkthrough meetings on the field. But, yes, we've been able to get around the guys just a little bit, just start building that relationship.
Coach, where do you start with that? I would imagine you take the job and you start to look at the roster, but how do you kind of go about what's your process in entering a new room with a new team and a new group of players?
First and foremost, I think it's the relationship piece. You know, you got to, as fast as you can, try to develop some kind of relationship with the players and their family. So that's my approach. You know, I'm a big relationship guy. I'm big on relationships. So for me, in order for a guy like a Richard Reese or Don Richardson who've had success in the Big 12, in order for them to trust me and play hard for me, I think we have to have a real close-knit relationship. So that's how I start. You know, I come in and I have an individual meeting with each guy and just let them know what the expectations are and what we're looking for and what we're trying to do going forward, and just trying to breathe some confidence into them, knowing that, you know, at the same time I'm new. And, you know, I'm coach, but at the same time, I know I have to earn your trust and earn your respect. You know what I mean? And I'm going to make sure I do my part on that. And as long as you guys meet me halfway, then we can get that done.
Khenon, you have been in the business a while. By the way, your alma mater is South Oak Cliff. They've become pretty much a powerhouse with Coach Todd, and you know that with what they're doing. But so when you recruit a player, it's to a program. It's also for a head coach, but it's also for the person who's recruiting him, which in this case is Khenon Hall. How does that all mix together? And obviously you've now moved down to Waco. How do you handle all of that and juggling those different angles?
I think at the end of the day, yeah, you're selling the university and you're selling the head coach, but ultimately you sell yourself as well. You know, I have a pretty good reputation of, you know, building a relationship with kids and, you know, kids that don't even come play for me. You know, I have a great relationship with them, even after they don't play for me. So I got guys like Marcus Trice who, you know, was going to come play for me at Illinois State and didn't. And, you know, we, to this day, you know, I picked up the phone for him when he needed advice and stuff. So, you know, even like Erica Moko, who just left the program, took a job. You know, I recruited both him and his brother, Stephen Omoko, out of Oregon, and he didn't know long. You know, Eric chose not to come, but Stephen did. But I have just the same relationship with Stephen as I do with Eric. So it's more so just a relationship piece, selling yourself and building a true, real relationship. So, like I said, for me, it's all about relationships and just building that. And the kids know you care about them. The kids know that you want the best for them. The kids know that you're going to have their back. So that's more so my recruiting approach. When I recruit kids, of course I sell the program. Of course I, you know, sell the head coach. But at the end of the day, you know, I build an individual relationship with them that's going to last long after football.
Dave Aranda, this is going to be his 5th year. They've had ups and they've had downs. What did he tell you? What did he tell you why he needed you at Baylor?
Well, he told me, you know, obviously I'm from the Dallas Metroplex, but he continued to just preach to me that the impact I can make on the roster, the impact I can make on the program, that he believed in me. He's been watching me for some time and watching me for some years. And it's Coach Aranda and then Coach Spavital. Coach Spavital's known me for a while through some people, but he just, you know, endured confidence in me that I can help flip the roster. You know, I can help get us back into the Dallas market, which, you know, that's where I'm born and raised and have all the relationships. So that was the biggest thing, just, you know, preaching how I can help the team. You know, I'm a guy that I'm very unselfish. I think, you know, Coach Aranda's done an unbelievable job building a great foundation in the Dallas market. But, you know, I know, like I spoke to that Coach McGuire and Coach Juice, who's from the area, kind of moved on, and they no longer had a presence, someone that can go in and have those relationships in the area. So I think that was a big piece of having someone that, have played with or coached with or, played against some of these coaches in that area that, when I walk in a room, I have a different relationship with them. It's more personable relationship, and they know my reputation. They know who I am. They know my heart, and they know that, I put kids first, and they know that I'm going to do right by their student athletes. So that was kind of the talk we had is, just the impact I can make on improving the roster.
So, Khenon, that says a lot when people see you wearing that logo because of all the things that you mentioned and who they know you are and the belief that they have in you, that you're making the decision to be at Baylor. What kind of a response have you gotten walking through the halls, having that BU or that green and gold on? What's kind of the perception that you picked up so far just in terms of how young people are viewing Baylor and just the opportunities that you have to pitch to them as well about coming down to Waco?
It's been excitement. It's been excitement. Like I told those guys, when I walk in and talk to Coach Todd and Coach Samples and guys like that and Coach Mathis, and the Soto, that, they're excited for me. They've been knowing me since I was a little boy. So they're excited for me. They want to see me do great things. They believe this is a great opportunity for me. And I thought so as well. So the ability to just walk in the room, being in the Big 12 at a prestigious program like Baylor, a national program, I think it helps us a lot. I think we have a brand. I think we got a brand that's very popular that can sell, and I think kids are excited about it in the Dallas Metroplex. And I think they're gonna take us pretty serious when we come down. We have some big time talent coming down already. So I think the reception we're getting right now from the Dallas Metroplex has been great, and it's a lot of excitement right now.
Khenon, I know that I mentioned South Oak Cliff, and Craig brought up some of the schools, but there's always been a lot of fantastic programs in the DFW area. But do you think right now, like the last 5 or 8 years, what's happening in that one part when you cross over either 20 or 30, whatever it is, it's 20, and you see all of the schools around you, has it ever been more dominant than it is right now in that area in high school football?
No, it has not. I know there's times when DeSoto and Cedar Hill and Carter was pretty good, but to have the talent that we have, when you go down the whole strip, you're talking Cedar Hill and you're talking about, the Mansfield schools, and then you talk about DeSoto High School, and then you got Lancaster High School, and then you got Duncanville, and then you have Sox. So it's like, the lux of talent, the dominance that they're showing right now, I don't think it's ever been like this. Even when I was in school, I thought we were pretty good, but but it's on a different level right now. And kudos and to those head coaches for building their programs the right way. Because I know those men, they're all about toughness, they're all about character, they're always about doing it the right way and discipline. So I love them for how they are raising those young men coming out those areas.
So, Coach, you talked a lot about the building relationship part and how important that is. Football school's going on, or it got started last week. Can you kind of take us through that process and what you're actually allowed to do? But also, outside of the relationship part, what are you, trying to drill home maybe in guys' heads about your approach or just football things? What's kind of the early messages you're trying to drill into guys during this portion?
The early message for us is just becoming a brotherhood, knowing that, at the end of the day, Coach Hall is going to have your back, that we're in this together, that we're a family, just getting to know them, building that rapport. The football stuff is going to take care of itself. Like I said, if you don't have a relationship with these young men, they're not going to do what you need them to do for you. So the biggest focus has been building a relationship, just meeting with them one-on-one, making sure, we have our text thread, that we building a relationship, and just continue to do it that way. When we're in the meetings and stuff, I know Coach Babacar, as you know, is one of the brightest offensive minds in college football, that, being able to just teach them the scheme and being able to watch film of Coach Baba's scheme and just showing them how they're going to be able to excel in this offense. So I think we're exuding confidence in them, showing them that they have a great chance to be very special in this offense, and then just going out and be able to walk through these things and where they can see that, what is translating from the meeting room to the film, that they're going to be able to have a crazy, amazing impact on this offense. I think it's going to be an explosive offense, and I think they know that as well, and they think they're going to have a great year. So it's still just a relationship piece. That's what I'm building right now, because, like I said, if I don't have their trust, if I don't have their respect, then I don't think we're going to be as successful as we all think.
As far as y'all's on-field play, I know still working through what this new offense is going to be exactly, but what in those conversations with Jake Spavital and even to a lesser extent Dave Aranda, what have they, I guess, said that they want out of that running back room specifically?
They haven't really said. They just want consistency.
Okay.
They want guys that are going to show up every day, be the same guys every day, and just consistency. They want guys that's going to be explosive, that's going to run hard, that's going to, be tough guys that show up every day, be consistent, and do the right things on and off the field. That's pretty much been the message. Obviously we're gonna be really strong in the trenches, tough in the trenches, and getting north and south. And that's kind of our mindset. We want guys that's going to get north and south, guys that's going to get those tough yards, and then the big play is going to come. In coach offense, it's usually we always have the advantage in numbers. So if we keep doing the same thing, right, and do it the same way every time, I think those opportunities as far as being explosive in this offense is going to come. But they just got to be consistent and, showing up every day,
Khenon, I know that you mentioned the relationship. You cannot speak to anything, a player particularly, but you also not only have built a relationship or a bond in Dallas, but also into the East Texas area. That's where Craig and I lived a long, long time. So we know what's out there and the talent that's out there. How important is it that is with Jared Anderson's going to be out there, and he's been there before? How critical of a base is that too?
It's a critical base. East Texas football, man. You get some of those kids. They're some of the toughest kids, the most disciplined kids, hardworking kids that you'll ever meet. You know what I mean? So us being able to get out there and build those relationships, Coach Anderson has done an unbelievable job in his career, in his 25-year career, on building those relationships, and he has great relationships. I have some relationships over my time being at Illinois State, so I recruited the whole state. So I have my own, kind of personal relationships out there in East Texas, and my family's from East Texas. My dad's side of the family's from out there in Henderson, so I have roots out there. Whereas I can come in there and be myself and build those relationships. One thing about me, this is not an overnight thing. I've been coaching for 15 years now. So I've been going out to East Texas for 15 years. I've been going in the Metroplex. And then, like I said, a lot of these coaches I either played against or coached against or, played with. So I have a lot of deeper ties and relationships when it comes to the high school football coaches in the Texas High School Coaching Association. So it's all about relationships. It has to be about it, and that's where it starts. I know things are getting kind of crazy with all this other stuff, but if you don't have a firm relationship with the kids, the parents, the coaches, and then, you're really not going to get anywhere, So it's definitely a good spot out there in East Texas for us.
Where are you more competitive, if you don't mind me asking, as a player? And I know your career was cut short because of an injury. Were you more competitive as a player or more competitive as someone recruiting a player?
I was pretty competitive as a player, but I think I'm even more competitive, as a coach and a recruiter. Because I'm really, I come from very humble beginnings. I've had to work extremely hard to get where I'm at. I come from absolutely nothing. So I think by being a coach in this industry and being where I'm at, I have a chip on my shoulder and I have something to prove every day that I wake up. I think I'm more competitive, as a coach, and a recruiter. I really take pride in, being able to pour into these kids and being, a guy that can navigate and help them, mold their life to where they're trying to go. A lot of these kids that I'm recruiting, I was them. I was, them, 20 years ago. So they can look at me and I can be that example for them to show them that, hey, as long as you stick to it and you stay the course, that things going to be able to, get figured out for you. So I think being a recruiter, I think I'm more competitive as a recruiter because I can really be myself and be genuine, and these kids know that I'm really going to pour into them, that I really care about them, that I really love them, and I really want them to be successful, and I want to help them get there.
All right, last thing. You, again, will have spring drills around the corner. How important or how can you wait? Are you an X's and O's guy? Obviously, recruiting, the practice time, huge, game prep, all of that as a coach. Can you almost are you biting at the bit to get them on the field and see what some of your guys can do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a big X and O's guy. I know sometimes we get the knock for being elite recruiters that we're not good at, as X's and O's. And I think that's where, I might separate myself than a lot of people out here in the country. I think, my ability to pick up offense, I've been in a few different offenses in my time that, I can, be able to dissect it and be able to coach it and teach it, especially the way Coach Spavital wanted taught. So for me, I'm excited. We've been jumping a bit. I've been excited. So when we go out for walkthroughs, we don't get to do much, but just being out there, the atmosphere, the presence, just being in McLean Stadium and just feeling it, just feeling the energy from the kids. They got a great group of young men. Richard Reese bringing energy every day. He's a little bit laid back, but when he touched that football, you can tell that he is a dude. And Don Richardson and Dawson Pendergrass, and then you got Jordan Jenkins, and then you also have
Dobbs coming in.
Dobbs coming in.
Yeah.
And then you have our young freshman here as well. So for me, it's been fun. I can't wait to get out there. I know it's going to be a few weeks before we really able to get out there, but it's pretty exciting right now.
Bryson Washington, Bryson Washington from Franklin, who was a state championship. All right, my last thing. We've discussed all this and what Spavital, Aranda, but what's it like being around Dave Aranda? He's a unique character. He's a really good football mind. Obviously, things have not always been good. It's been up and down. That's part of the game itself. But what are your thoughts about being around Dave Aranda?
I love being around him just because of the type of person he is. I think, he has a big heart. I think he cares about the players. I think he cares about the coaches. And I think he's an ultimate competitor. That's what I've noticed a few days around him is that he is a competitor. He's sharp as nails. Like he's a football guy. And that's for me, that's what I love about him. And you can just tell he's an amazing leader. He commands respect. He exudes confidence. And he's a really good dude. You can just tell, when I sat down and had my meeting with him when I was thinking about taking the position, it just, just the type of man he is. You can just tell that he cares about you as a person. And that mattered to me more than anything else there is because I'm a people person. You all want to be, valued. You want to be wanted and you want to be cared about, So when he expressed those things and we had our conversations and I could tell just how genuine he was and what type of man he was. That's why, by our conversation and just what I've heard about him from other people. So being around him, I've gotten the same feel. He's just a really good dude, but he's super competitive. I think it's going to be an extremely good year. I think we're going to do what we need to do to get where we're trying to go.
Khenon, Baylor Associate Head Coach, Running Backs Coach. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good luck closing everything out. I know there's signing day coming up on Wednesday, which is not the same as it used to be, but what you've already brought to the table and what you will in the future. Thank you so much for your time. Look forward to meeting you.
Thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon.
Yes, sir. Khenon Hall, Baylor Associate Head Coach, Running Backs Coach. And